So, of course, Trump saw this for what it was. It was a huge gift from the Supreme Court. And here is what he wrote on Truth Social. A really bad day for deranged Jack Smith, the wacko prosecutor used for crooked Joe Biden's attack on his political opponent. Today, as in the past, the Supreme Court gave the deranged one a high-level spanking. His real bosses, Andrew Weissman and Lisa Monaco, not to mention Merrick Garland, whose once great reputation has been shattered by these thugs, and his constant defense of crooked Joe, must be furious at him. Garland ought to call an end to this never-ending hoax and let people focus on bringing back greatness to America. Unfortunately, he continued, the Supreme Court decision is a much more powerful one than some had expected it to be. It is brilliantly written and wise and clears the stench from the Biden trials and hoaxes, all of them, that have been used as an unfair attack on crooked Joe Biden's political opponent, me. Many of these fake cases will now disappear or wither into obscurity. God bless America. And there's already movement on this decision.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Trump is moving to overturn the Manhattan conviction. He's citing the immunity decision. And in a letter to the judge overseeing the case, Trump's lawyers sought permission to file a motion that would set aside the verdict, for the crimes that he committed before he was president. His lawyers are likely to argue that prosecutors built their case partly on evidence from his time in the White House, and under the Supreme Court's new ruling, prosecutors not only may not charge a president for any official acts, but also cannot cite evidence involving official acts to bolster other accusations. Trump's team asked Judge Merchan to postpone the July 11th sentencing while the judge weighs whether the Supreme Court ruling affects the conviction. And we have an update to this from this morning. The prosecutor has said that they don't oppose delaying the sentencing of Trump. Here's their letter to the judge. Although we believe defendants' arguments to be without merit, we do not oppose his request for leave to file and his putative request to adjourn sentencing pending determination of his motion. We respectfully request a deadline of July 24th, 2024, 2 weeks after defendants' requested deadline to file and serve a response. Yasmin, I'm curious, do you think this is going to work? Is this going to be the opportunity that Trump seizes on to get off the hook for his many, many felony convictions?
Yeah, this is a win for Republicans, whether they're reluctant to admit it or not. I will say real quick, Republicans aren't going to like Biden's immunity in a few years as much as they like Trump's immunity right now. They've been trying to convince people that Biden is crooked, the head of a crime family for years. So we'll see how that goes for them in a few years. And, whenever we do analyses of these types of things and these kinds of stories on shows like this one, we try to operate from some place of logic and realism. We look at history, we look at precedents, we look at all kinds of things whenever we're analyzing these stories, or at least we try to. At this point, I'm reluctant to do so because who knows what's going to happen at this point. There were months of litigation that went into those convictions that Trump had, and we're all waiting for the sentencing. And now this happens from the Supreme Court, the highest court in all the land, right? And that's very distressing because right now it feels a lot like the Wild West. So I would say normally, no, it wouldn't work, because why would it work? All that work that all those lawyers did, all that evidence that was presented, not just to the courtroom, but also to the public, none of it, what was it all for if it could all just get thrown away? And that was why I think a lot of people had a lot of hope maybe in the Supreme Court, even considering what the Supreme Court is today. But that was very quickly, we were just brought back to reality, I should say.
Yeah, it was quite the reality check. I was among, I think, some number of people who thought that the arguments that Trump's team made were so outlandish that there was no way they could rule in his favor. But boy, was I wrong. We'll keep following that story. We'll see how it impacts the outcome in the Manhattan case, but more to come.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?